What's up, everybody? I'm currently working on my next video, but in the meantime, I thought I'd include a bunch of stuff I was going to put in the main video, but didn't, for reasons I'll explain later in this video, along with clarifying some things I saw in the comment section of my previous video about Call of Duty maps. So that's what we'll be doing in this one. This video is going to have more of a relaxed vibe. I'm just going to rattle off the points as we go along and have some gameplay in the background, so yeah. First off, though, I want to say I looked away from YouTube for like a week, and then all of a sudden the views, the subs, the likes, and the comments on my previous video about COD maps just exploded. And this is crazy to me. This is wild. I did not expect that whatsoever. Like, I was hoping to get like 100 views in like 2 weeks, but it's at like, I don't know, well over 10,000, maybe more. So thank you to everybody who took the time out of their lives to watch my little video about Call of Duty maps. I really appreciate it. It really feels good to have made something that I really care about, or just am really interested in, and put it out there and have it not be swallowed by the void for no one to see. So again, it's really awesome. Thanks a lot to everybody. Alright, for real now. While I was shitting on current gen COD games for its map design, that doesn't mean you still can't have fun playing it. I want to disclaim that. I'm not trying to say that the game as a whole is bad, just this individual aspect of the game isn't as good as it could be, or it has been in the past, in this case. Honestly, I don't really like vague platitudes like good and bad when talking about stuff, but when I use it for something like the video thumbnail, it's because I straight up have no idea what else to make for the thumbnail, and I just went with the first thing that I thought of. Also, if I went through all the nuances and complexities that go into video games and these specific games, the video would be like a day long, and judging by the click-through rate on the actual video, the abridged version, a lot of people don't seem to have the stomach for that, so I kind of just boiled it down. So a lot of you had really specific examples from specific Call of Duty games or game modes, some that might fit into the ones I would consider not as good. And in these examples, you described how much you liked that game or you had fun. And if you did like that game and had a lot of fun with it, that's great. That's awesome. I'm super glad for you. At the end of the day, that is the point of video games, after all, is to have fun. So I'm glad it worked out for you. But what I want to do with this channel is illustrate why you have fun. What about you and the game connect and resonate in you to make you have fun. So, that being said, I'm not going to cover every single Call of Duty in this video because, one, I don't own them all, and I can't get clips for them. And two, the video is just a general overview about the specific aspect of Call of Duty, the before, the after, and the shift. So if you like a game that I don't like as much and other people don't as well, that's fine. Keep playing it, have fun, that's all that matters. But regardless, you'll have to be real with yourself when it comes to the game's elements. Like, I like MW2, the original one, but I will firmly stand on the notion that one-man army is just not good for the game's health whatsoever, and is busted and should have been removed. Nevertheless, it's a flaw in the game I accept as being a part of the game. So yeah, another thing I saw is, I know that the bars on the line breakdown look like Bolivia's flag. Yeah, I thought about it too while making the video, and I kind of giggled to myself about it. I did think about, like, changing the graphic or making it shorter, but I didn't know what else to put there, so we just kind of left it. Alright, this is the big one. I know a lot of you were thinking about it, and I thought about it too while making the video. Call of Duty Ghosts and Advanced Warfare's maps. Yeah. So I didn't include it into the video because, honestly, when I thought about them, I was like 2/3 of the way done with the video. And I didn't want to have to go get the capture card out and get more clips and restructure the video and do all that crap when it was like almost done, so I just left it. Black Ops 2 was the one that introduced that kind of like streamlined, condensed version of maps, and that really used it with all of its maps. And Black Ops 3 was the game that kind of cemented that map-making mentality, and it became the standard and the norm, likely because Black Ops 3 did really well, whereas COD and Advanced Warfare were not received as well. That being said, I did look at Ghost maps, and it's pretty much the typical classic Modern Warfare Infinity Ward style of map. There are some weird spots here and there, but mostly they're okay. The problem is that the maps are in Call of Duty Ghost, that's kind of the big issue. So all the other stuff in Ghost is kind of the problem here. The maps itself are okay. Like, in the background is gameplay of Stonehaven, a map I distinctly remember having a massive expanse of nothing in the middle. But here I am playing it, and the exact spot I'm talking about between the castle, the crash satellite, and the village has a bunch of rolling hills, some ruins, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of verticality. There's some side lanes to travel through, so like it's very much well fleshed out. Something I didn't remember, but there it is, so what can I say? As for Advanced Warfare, it's kind of a mix of previous map design philosophies along with some new stuff. Given its exo movement, the game is a lot more vertical and the maps show it. That being said, they're all just kind of like weird. Some of them are pretty normal, some of them are okay, but it's a similar problem as Ghosts, where it's like the maps are in Advanced Warfare. Therefore, yeah. So another thing I noticed is that a lot of y'all really like Black Ops 3. And again, while you had fun in that game, that's awesome. Glad you did. No hate there. But I would encourage you to go back and maybe revisit the game now that, like, it's kind of dead, for being honest. Like, I didn't fully realize the stuff that I talked about in the main COD map video until I played a lot of Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 with bots, or just in really slow games of TDM, because the games are, like, practically dead now. Alongside playing Black Ops 1 with bots, and really seeing the difference there. If you do what I did, playing offline with bots in these games, or even a match of TDM online, I think what you'll notice is that the generation of Call of Duty I was shitting on, those games are really slow, they're really quiet, and they're really boring. Whereas the ones I liked and the ones that I praised, they are slow, but they're engaging. This is something I also wanted to talk about, but didn't, because I didn't quite have the words for it, and I still don't fully understand why this is the case. But there was like a tension to it. Even if like you're just walking around the map trying to find enemies, it's somehow engaging in a way on the old school maps. Whereas the new ones, I'm just kind of like walking down the lane trying to find someone to shoot, or likely waiting to get shot in the back. I think it's that non-linear pattern between maps across maps of the old school games that create that kind of tension. I actually kind of feel like a soldier navigating through like densely packed city streets, trying to watch my back while also keep an eye out for enemies on those really slow games. So another thing is I used a lot of comparisons from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 4 in this video, in addition to a lot of gameplay from those. And the simple answer is that's just what I've been playing recently, and that's where I saw the difference in the map design. Also, those games have offline bots, so it's pretty easy to get B-roll. Now, I know it doesn't create a watertight argument to only use a few comparisons as evidence, but it kind of got to a point where I was beating a dead horse. Like, I did think about using Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, COD World War 2, COD Vanguard, and a bunch of other stuff. But, like, I felt like one was enough, so I just kind of stopped it there. Also, I didn't want to make this video, like, a day long. So that's the reason for that, in case anyone was wondering. On a similar note, some people said that using maps like Array and Downturn aren't great examples to illustrate the point I'm making, even if they do agree with the point I'm making. And I got a few things to say to that. One, the point was to show that even mid-maps in these games have more depth and complexity and more interesting than maps we are currently exposed to. But also, I like those maps, so fuck you. I really genuinely love Downturn. It's one of my favorite maps in Modern Warfare 3. But not only that, I like Outpost, I like Interchange, I like Underpass, I like Subbase, etc, etc. Honestly, there isn't a map from OG COD that I don't not like. I'm kind of fine with all of them, and even with all the CODs I described in the video, the Dark Ages and the more current stuff, I'm generally okay with those maps. Like, I'll play on them, it's fine, and you know, I'm not like repulsed to the idea of playing on them, barring a few exceptions. Looking at you, Exodus from Black Ops 3. But yeah, all I'm trying to say is that, by comparison, these maps are weaker than the ones previously utilized in Call of Duty for all the reasons I mentioned in the video. The big point of the video was to stand in defiance to the quote-unquote fan favorite maps, all the boring-ass ones that are tiny and small and stuff that always get voted for in the lobby, and to show some appreciation for the maps with some complexity and depth to them. Something I didn't say in the video because, again, I just didn't think about it at the time, didn't cross my mind, but a possible reason why COD maps are like this now is because basic people kept voting for the same 4 maps in every Call of Duty, and the devs took that as, alright, this is what the players want, let's just make them all like this. You could likely see that with the title releases themselves. People like Black Ops 2, didn't like Ghost, didn't like Advanced Warfare, liked Black Ops 3. Therefore, can assume that this is what the players want, these are the games that did well, therefore that's what the players want, let's make more of those. But actually, it's more complicated than that. I think I saw a lot of us kind of realize we didn't know how good it was until it's gone, and now that it is gone, you kind of miss it. While you specifically might not like individual maps from certain games, I will still stand by my claim that the old school mentality is better for the game health and the gameplay long term. Okay, so this next point is kind of a deeper psychological topic, so just bear with me on this. So, the psychologist Howard Gardner has this theory in which he outlines what he calls multiple intelligences, or for a more simpler term, brain aptitudes. Essentially, every person is at least strong in one intelligence. It's kind of like the subclass you were given at birth, even if you don't know it. So there's stuff like social intelligence for interpersonal relationships, kinesthetic intelligence for athletics, and just general like body movement, knowing how to use your body in certain ways. And there's something like spatial intelligence, which is essentially the ability to navigate 3D spaces and visualize and conceptualize 3D spaces in your mind. I'm like 99% certain I have spatial intelligence, and a lot of you probably do too, hence why you like the maps I described, the previous Golden Age style of maps, because your brain like feeds off of that stuff. It loves it, right? That's a spatial intelligence person's dream, whereas someone who might not be as apt into spatial intelligence probably doesn't like those maps as much and prefers the more simplified 3-lane approach because it's just easier to navigate. And if that's the case, I totally understand, by the way. That's totally fine. I know not everyone's built the same. But it does seem like there isn't much room for us people who have spatial intelligence in this specific field of gaming anymore. It definitely seems geared towards people without it, and I really do think that's a shame because a lot of people just aren't getting the stimulation they really need, or that they want from the games that they play. So yeah, that's probably why I like the really big labyrinth style of maps that's all like crazy and chaotic, and a lot of you might not like it. The simple fact is that I may have spatial intelligence and you may not, but you might be stronger in other fields. And regardless, I still think maps should have all the things I described, regardless if they're like big or small. Again, Black Ops 4 has some really good examples in its DLC, like Artifact and Lockup. I think it's a good balance between the two methodologies of map making. It's just a shame that it's a DLC map and not like in the base game. A note on the current gen CODs as well. The most recent one I've played is Vanguard, and that's the most recent one I own. Personally, I don't really like the current gen CODs for a number of reasons, aside from maps. But when it comes to the ones I've played most of them via betas, free weekends, and game share, but I don't really own a lot of them, and as such, that's why I don't have a lot of clips and footage from them. So when I speak to those games, you can take it with a little grain of salt, because I don't really have a wealth of experience on them. That being said, from what I have played though, it does seem to be more of what I've described in the main video. Like, the maps are just kind of like more of the same through each game. Although I did just remember while like recording the audio for this that I have clips from Black Ops 6 beta, and I just have no idea where they are. So you might see that in a future video, I don't know. On the note of current gen CODs, a few comments have said stuff like Modern Warfare, whatever year, I don't know, I'm super out of the loop, has maps like I described and people hated it, etc, etc. Guys, you're not the absolute authority on what people like and dislike, neither am I. I'm just giving you my subjective take on things. And I'm backing it up with my knowledge of game design principles and psychology and my experience playing games. So, in my video, I've just kind of noticed a pattern and outlined it. Like, there's no definitive census data on any of the stuff I've talked about, really. I wish it was. That would be great, because I think game designers and players would better understand what each other wants and what they can do, and then we can get better games from it, but that just isn't the case. At least to my knowledge. So the last point I want to make is a hypothetical what Call of Duty could do, or really what any game designer could do, any game developer. If you're an indie studio out there and you want to make a shooter type game that's reminiscent of the golden age style of Call of Duty a lot of us grew up with, then please do so. I'll be waiting for it. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people like the Black Ops 2 style of Call of Duty. So there's kind of two butting heads, or two spheres of interest within the same community. And it seems like only one gets fulfilled at a time. Now, I have no power over these companies, or the people who make the game. I doubt a lot of the developers who do make the game, like the people who actually work on it, have a lot of power over what they do as well, because of big business bullshit. So I just want to get that out there. But I feel like an obvious solution to this problem might be if one studio just makes one style of Call of Duty and the other studio makes another style of Call of Duty, and they just stick with that. And since there's 3 studios making COD, maybe the third one can just, like, make some other crazy shit, like, whatever. We can have a fun one every once in a while that's just bananas. But yeah, let's say Infinity Ward made stuff the old school way, the traditional way, like the OG Modern Warfare trilogy, when it comes to gameplay, weapons, kill streaks, all that stuff. And they just stuck with that. And Treyarch did stuff the Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 style of way. It's much more condensed maps. It's that kind of style of Call of Duty. And they just stuck with that. I think long-term the players would enjoy that much more. They would definitely have a consistent and hopefully trusted studio that makes the product they want. And then that studio can focus on that specific group of people more in depth. They can focus on their needs and their wants when it comes to making the game and updating the game, keeping the game alive, and facilitating gameplay. Instead of just broadening the tent and not really hitting anyone, any particular group. Now, I know the typical business counter-argument to this idea would be the company would lose some players on certain titles and they won't maximize profits. I mean, yeah, that is going to happen. The current landscape is a Call of Duty just gets released and it's kind of teased, and all we know about it is that it's a Call of Duty. We don't actually know how it feels and how it plays until we get the game. And that's kind of true with every game. But an approach like that leaves a lot of people dissatisfied because their expectations were different, or the game didn't fulfill the stuff that deep down they want fulfilled when they play a video game. So I feel like the approach I described, where a company focus on a specific type of player or type of players, would work better long term, because it would build more trust within the players, and like I said, the company can focus on the players that their game is designed to facilitate more in depth. And I think long term it would actually make more money for the game and for the company as a whole. So yeah, you're not going to maximize profits each quarter, but long term, for the health of the game, even the 2 years that it's out before the next one, that studio would release, it's definitely going to maximize profits across quarters. And also, Activision, Call of Duty, and all the AAA titles and studios are kind of on a downward spiral the past few years, so the general consensus is that the players don't really like you as the company. So you might as well try something that actually makes the players like you. And I think just being upfront and honest when it comes to this stuff. And I think being upfront with the players you're trying to target and the players you're trying to facilitate with your game is just the best approach forward. And this is also an approach that doesn't leave other players out. So that's basically all I had for this video. Sorry if it was a little bit rambling. I just kind of wrote down notes and went off. I do want to ask you guys for some feedback on the main video and this one too. The main video was kind of a blend of a lot of vibes. It's my first time making something like this that's this big, and I didn't quite know which direction I wanted to go with it. I'm still figuring out how I want the videos on my channel to feel, like how I want them to be. So in the main COD map video, there's some wispy nostalgia moments, there's other parts that are logical arguments, there's other parts that talk about the player experience, and then there's some more objective observations. Like, let me know if you guys like this blend of stuff, or if you just want me to focus on one single kind of vibe, so to speak. Like, do you want an hour-long video that's just cold hard facts? Do you want something that's more grounded in personal experiences that's derived from the gameplay? Do you care about like little jokes and side gags and whatnot? Do you want something like this where it's just like more relaxed and it's me kind of just reading off the bullet point lists I have and ad-libbing a little bit? So let me know what you think in the comments. That being said, I probably won't really read them for the first few weeks because I'm going to be working on the video, my next video, like a lot. I'm going to be really tunnel visioned on that, so yeah, no disrespect if I don't read your comments. I might look at them every once in a while, but just, yeah, keep that in mind. Also, on the topic of my next video, if you guys, my subscribers, are the kind of big balls, hardcore, COD bro type person who like only plays shooters and sports games, you're probably not going to like my next video. I hope you do, but you're probably going to hate me for it. So, you know, I hope you guys learned something from all this. I hope you're doing well. Remember to have fun and stay gaming. See ya.